Nico, heading to Leyton Orient tomorrow, 6 matches unbeaten after another brilliant weekend.
Yeah, it's positive. The lads are in a good place. They've obviously come through a roller coaster of a season, and they are learning some lessons. They are starting to put it into practice, but you're only as good as your last game. Leyton Orient is going to be an incredibly tough place to go and get a result, and we've got to make sure we take stock today, make sure everybody's fit and well, and then we prepare and get ready for what's going to be a really tough one.
What are your reflections on Saturday? I thought it was a really gritty, hard-fought win.
I thought Saturday was a game that sums us up to a degree in terms of there was some outstanding play. There was some absolutely brilliant passages of play, particularly with the ball. But then there were some bits that were nowhere near the level that we need to be consistently in and around the top half of this league. And so that's part of the process. That's part of the lads learning. It's making sure they understand that when something is working, to stick to it, don't get bored of the basics, keep doing the stuff that's bringing you success. The best teams do it. The best teams have an identity. We need to make sure that, people see Exeter City and they know who we are, how we play. There'll always be some kind of tactical nuance and there'll always be something different for every game that you play, but we have to be us. And I think there was times that we were, and there was times that we were a little bit erratic. So probably a real good example of where we're currently at.
A big part of the unbeaten run has been the defence. Will Aimson was awarded the Fans Player of the Month for March. And to be fair, any three of the back three could have got man of the match on Saturday. It was Alex, but fantastic defensively recently, I think.
In some ways, I think our last-ditch defending has been good. But if we're going to defend properly, we shouldn't have to last-ditch defend. We should minimise chances. Jamie Reid on another day could have got a couple of goals, and that's defending. Like some of the blocks, Ben Perrington the game before that, Will, Al, last-ditch headers. There was some brilliant stuff, but it was Maldini that said, if I have to make a tackle, I've already made a mistake. And that's where we need to get to. We need to be in control. We need to be measured. We need to know where the danger is and see it before it actually materialises. And again, we're not there yet. There's a long way for us to go, and we need to get a lot better at that.
Didn't expect you to be quoting Maldini there.
A bit of a hero of mine. I do. I never used to tackle, mainly because I couldn't get close enough. But I used that quote when it suited me.
What are you expecting from Leyton Orient? Patchy form, but a big win at the weekend for them.
Yeah, they've had a really good season. They've had a good win. They've been up and around. They've kind of flirted with the playoffs a little bit. They've never been in any major trouble. Really experienced manager, both as a player and as a manager. And they're a big football club. They'll be, I'm sure, looking at this season as a way of them kind of laying the foundations to have a go next year. And it's for us to go there and show who we are, what we're about. Try and take the positives that we've started to show. Try and be harder to break down, try and be more ruthless in their box, but try and show who we are with the ball, try and show who we are without the ball, and it'll be a good game.
They beat us late on at our place in September, but do you expect them to be much different from that game, from what you've seen of recent clips?
They've got a freedom to play. They're being quite expansive. They're being brave on the ball. They're trying to play out from the back. They've got rotations. They're a good football team, a really good football team. We were poor in the game at home. That was one of those games, although we've had a bad run this season, there were several games that we played really well in, but the home game against them was one where we completely underperformed, didn't turn up with or without the ball, and rightfully got beat. So it's for us to kind of say, well, this is who we are now. This is where we're trying to get to, and see if that's any better.
3 away games in a row, starting tomorrow before Port Vale and Northampton. 600 at least heading up to London tomorrow, which is some unbelievable support.
Incredible. Our away support has been, our home support has been. We're fortunate that we have that behind us, and it's for us to go out there today, to prepare, to make sure that we're ready, and to give those guys something to cheer.
Sonny Cox went off with what I believe was a hamstring injury on Saturday. Is it too early to know the full extent of that yet? Is there anything you can say?
Yeah, it genuinely is. We're sat here now, he's being assessed, so I really don't know where he's at and how bad or not it is, but he's a young man who recovers well from these things, so I don't expect it to be too bad.
Players coming back from injury and getting their place in the squad. Caleb Watts was one of those players. I thought he was excellent on Saturday, and he's probably giving you a headache whether he's earned himself perhaps a start tomorrow?
Yeah, Caleb's standards in training have been outstanding throughout. He's been really unfortunate that the timing of his injuries have always put him to the back of the queue. And so he's pushed and he's pushed and he's pushed, and he deserved his opportunity and his appearance at the weekend. And if he carries on, he'll get more, because he's one of those players that's out there trying to show us that he's part of the future.
And finally, as Gary suggested in his post-match on Saturday, these next few games will be an opportunity for players who perhaps haven't seen as much game time this season, or particularly in recent weeks.
Only if they earn it. Caleb's a great example. Jack Fitzwater's a great example, who, again, another guy who's been unfortunate, not so much with the amount of injuries, but the timing of what he's had. Those guys have earned the right. They've trained hard every day. They've been great influencers around the place. They've been great teammates, whether they're playing or not. And that's the challenge for everybody else. Nobody's going to get a free hit. They need to make sure that we earn it. This isn't something that we're going to see out and allow players to do what they want. This season is something that we're still chasing. We want to finish as high as possible. We want as many points as possible. And so standards have to be high and expectations have to be high.
Actually, just picking up on something you said there, just 2 points away from matching last season's points tally. A win tomorrow would take us beyond that.
Yeah, and it is about tomorrow and trying to get that win. So the points will add up if we continue with the process that we're on. But we have to aim higher. We have to be ambitious. We have to make sure that we're not little old Exeter. We want to be a force in this league, and this gives us opportunity to work towards that.